Hey, there we go. I'm back. How's it going there, chat room? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz, and we're going to write a little code today. In fact, we're going to write a lot of code today. We're going to be having a bit of fun. We're going to be doing something that I don't normally do. We're going to be working on a Mac again. Back here. Yeah, I've got a couple things going on here, and I've got a couple friends joining us today. I'm so glad to have a couple friends joining us to talk about Visual Studio for Mac. Hang on, I've got a couple things moving here. Oh my goodness, all the moving pieces. There we go. I have joining us today. Here we go. Switch over the views. See, there's so much happening here. There we go. I've got Cody Byer and Michaela Hutchinson. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, how's it
Good
going?
evening, good afternoon. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you
All
doing?
right. Wow, this is cool. It's different having three people with us. Um, it, we're going to talk a little bit about Visual Studio for Mac today, aren't we? There's a lot happening with the product, isn't there?
Mhm.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's all very exciting.
Oh my gosh. So we just we just had a release, didn't we? Right? There was an
Yeah,
update
we
that went
just
out.
released, yeah. We just released version 8.1
Okay.
to the stable channel and 8.2 preview 1 to the preview channel.
Okay. So
So we have two versions for everybody to play with right now.
okay. Now, it just like on Visual Studio for Windows, there's two versions. We've got these two channels that folks can choose from, they can work with, and hopefully have a great experience, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, it's kind of the same structure as Windows, like you said. We have the stable channel, which is where we'd have our production ready IDE. We suggest that for any production ready code. But we also have the preview channel, which is where we try to get input from the community and try to get everybody's different scenarios tested and get feedback from everybody in the community as to our new features so that we can make sure that the eventual stable release is as stable and featureful as possible. So that's kind of the structure of going on. It mimics what you have on Windows, kind of like the VS Code Insiders, kind of like Windows Insiders, where you have this preview channel for everybody to get a sneak peek of what's to come.
There we go. All right, how's that now, chat room? They're commenting on the volume here. How's that? All right, I think that's probably a bit better. Let me know.
I can stop yelling too. I mean, it's one option.
No, no, we're good. You're good. All right. So, so I love the fact that we have the preview channel. We can get that great feedback from folks, so that we can ensure that when things are RTM, when we're at a release version, a solid version for anybody to use, it's got all the great things in it that work and function the way that you expect it to, and folks still get that ability to say, I want to be on the bleeding edge. I want to try all the greatest stuff before it's even ready, before everybody else gets to see it. And I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah, and like right now we have some pretty cool new features in the preview channel. For example, we have a brand new editor for XAML. So if you're a XAML developer, if you write Xamarin Forms apps, we have a new editor for the XAML experience in the preview channel, and we have the same new editor but for C# in the stable channel. So you can see this is kind of migration of features from preview to stable. So whichever channel you get, there's something fun to play with, but of course, the preview channel is going to have all the bleeding edge new stuff that you'd want to play with if you're into that insider experience.
But okay, so Michaela, a lot's been said about this
Mhm.
new editor, right? There's a new editor. It's the new C sharp
Mhm.
editor. There's some pretty cool things that are happening now with C sharp, and now, as Cody's saying, the XAML editor with Visual Studio. What's so great that we can look forward to as Mac developers in Visual Studio for Mac with that new editor?
Yeah, so essentially what we've done with the new editor is ported over the editor from Visual Studio on Windows to Mac. And we wrote a native Mac UI for that and did our best to integrate it with all the expected Mac experiences. Like you have the input methods for emojis, and it's all hardware accelerated with the GPU and so on. But under the hood, it's using the exact same core as the editor on Windows. And that has a couple of really big benefits. One is that it behaves the same way. So all those little details of how the editing experience works is going to be exactly the same on Windows and on Mac. So if you have your muscle memory for the editor and you're switching back and forth, you're not going to be surprised by things behaving just a tiny bit differently in some cases, which can be really distracting and disruptive to the experience. The other huge advantage is that it makes it much easier for us to share editing experiences across the two platforms. So all of the C# development experience, all of that in IntelliSense and quick info and refactorings and so on, are now the exact same assemblies running on Mac as were running on Windows. So again, you get the consistency of experience. It also means that we can bring features over to both platforms faster, so Mac won't be playing catch up as much.
Right, and as Visual Studio 2019 gets new features, Visual Studio for Mac will get those features in the editor as well. The editor component. Some of the other components have already been migrated and work the same, right? I love seeing that, right? That cross-pollination, that two products now that are functioning as it kind of expected by name, more and more similar to each other.
Correct, and I think one of the big examples of this is the quick analysis. So the quick, the code fixes that you see, whether it's powered by a light bulb or by right-clicking on a squiggly, those are now shared between both Mac and Windows. So as soon as the Windows team adds, or the Roslyn team in this case, adds a new fix, we get that over on the Mac side as well. So you don't have the situation where you are talking to somebody on a Windows PC and like, oh, you just have to apply this quick fix, and you go to Mac and it's not there. They both can be there now at the same time, and that's one of the examples of this tight sharing between the two experiences.
And that is such a good thing that we can't understate, right? It means that we've got now a unified team that's building unified version of Visual Studio. Everybody gets all the great stuff. We're no longer chasing. The light bulbs are a great example. They're flowing through, and they're only going to get better on everybody's favorite platforms. Really great stuff. I'm waiting for one last piece to download here, and we can start talking about and actually get into some code here. So the XAML editor was updated. We've got there we go. We've got great ability to build with Xamarin, and we've also added capabilities for ASP.NET Core into Visual Studio for Mac. So we don't just have ASP.NET Core, right? We have Azure integration as well, right?
Yeah, it supports a pretty wide range of different development platforms. So if you want to write apps for mobile, you have the Xamarin platforms. For web, you have ASP.NET Core, Azure Functions, all the kind of publishing support and the web editors, Razor IntelliSense, all that good stuff. And then for games, it integrates with Unity, so it gives you IntelliSense for all of the Unity APIs. Very
cool. All right. We can't understate enough that Unity is part of the ecosystem here, right? That great framework folks use to build games and other what would you describe? Other three-dimensional
3D
objects.
Models. Yeah, it's super popular. I was talking to some of the Unity devs, and one of the things that always amazes me when I talk to developers is the different ways in which they use these tools that I didn't imagine. And Unity is often used for home remodels and architecture type stuff. So people who want to set a 3D model of what their home's going to be if they put this couch over in that corner or something. Unity can be used to build those types of models. So it can be used for a lot of different things, not just games, but you need 3D modeling. And VS for Mac is the default script editor for Unity on the Mac, as VS is on Windows. So if you install Unity, you get VS for Mac along with it, and you can use the Community Edition to edit all the files you need to edit and do all this cool stuff that you can do with the Unity just as you were on a Windows PC.
Oh, very cool. Hey, we just got a raid. We have 9 folks that just joined us from DataStax Devs. thanks so much, DataStax devs. I appreciate you sending your folks over to our channel. I'm here with Cody and Michaela from the Visual Studio for Mac team, and we're gonna learn a little bit more about Visual Studio for Mac and even write a little bit of code today. Thanks so much for joining us, and let us know, DataStax, what were you working on over there in your channel? Drop me a line there in the chat room. It's always great to see other folks building stuff in the community and joining us. Thank you very much. And I think if I know my Tuesday evenings, I think we might see a couple more raids here from some of our other friends in the community here. So, all right, what do you say I go over to start off with the website, show folks where they can get Visual Studio for Mac, and then let's crack this open and take a look at some code together.
Yep, let's get started.
Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to go over to this view. There we go. So there's the Visual Studio website, visualstudiomicrosoft.com, and I just clicked on the Mac link up at the top. And it there was a Mac OS link over here, and it real easy to download and get started. Now, I know for Visual Studio 2019, we have the whole community professional edition thing. Do we have a similar concern here, Cody, with Visual Studio for Mac?
Yeah, I mean it's all the same installer. So on Mac OS, the edition you get is going to be powered by the login that you use. So if you use a login that has a subscription to professional enterprise, and you'd get that. But the download itself is all the same. It's just a disk image. And it's kind of how Mac OS works, where most installs are through a disk image, and which would be the equivalent like an ISO on Windows. And those are mounted and then you install from there. So the installer is all the same depending on what edition you have. And then once you log in, you get all the extra features of enterprise and professional.
Okay. And I mean, right, you could see here all the great features that you expect from a Visual Studio. Scrolling down, some other customers that are using it. Great stuff. And support for mobile, Mac OS, web apps, Azure. Great. Real easy to download and get started. And we had to patch and apply a couple things here before we got started here. And it's now running, and I have it right here on my toolbar. So let's switch over there.
See it. There it is.
Yeah, look at that. Cool new icon.
Nice dark theme.
Yeah. Oh, got to use the dark theme, right? Everybody loves the dark theme. Now,
I don't want to start that fight, but
Have you changed your highlight color yet?
No.
Pink
all the way.
Pink is the default highlight color that we have to enforce upon people.
Really? All right.
Yeah, we try to put that in screenshots and stuff, so it's awesome.
Its own highlight color, the pink highlight color. Now, where do I find the configuration for that?
That would be powered by the OS. If you click on go ahead, Michaela.
So that's a Mac OS feature, and when you set that, it will apply to all of your apps on the whole system. So your buttons and menu highlights, for example, instead of being blue, will be pink or purple or whatever color you set. So you can set that in system preferences.
All right. So hang on. You're suggesting I come over here into general and change this from blue.
Yep. Next item down.
Use the dark menu?
Nope.
No, that highlight.
There we go. Yes, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, and now if you look in the main menu, for example.
All right, the main menu here.
Yep. Oh, why did that not take it?
Oh, did we not hit apply? Uh-oh.
I thought I did.
No, there we go.
You gotta apply those preferences.
Do you?
I believe so. Let's see, it looks like
One more time. I am back a version. Yeah, pink.
pink. Uh-oh. No light bugs. Let's see. We can all imagine it's pink, or maybe it has to be relaunched to get the lightest color. But everybody think pink. That rhymes.
I can relaunch. Hang on, let's relaunch. Right, I thought I just hit quit. See, I'm used to the Command Q there to quit, and it's the Command F4. Yeah, Jay Wood is saying, do you need to restart? Let's restart one more time. Do the thing. Yeah, you want the keys there.
Oh, I see some pink right there. That was good. It's a good sign.
Oh.
Restoring packages, good.
Yeah. So if you open up a C#
I'm still
file,
blue.
So it doesn't necessarily apply to all parts of the VS Mac UI because it depends on quite how integrated with Mac OS they are.
Okay.
But the new editor is 100% native. So
Yeah, and that's actually a good demonstration of the work that we're doing. So you open a C# file. So I guess any of the C# files would do.
So
and
I've
then
been
you go
working
into that
on.
file and now select some code.
Yeah, I'm still on blue.
That's weird.
Now, I'm not on the latest version of Mac OS. This is a MacBook Air, so I've been purposely hanging back.
I could put the settings there. That's very odd. Because like it should be taking effect across the system.
As long as you're on the new editor, so we might want to ensure that the new editor is selected.
No,
All right.
Actually, it's a good thing to show how to toggle the editor. So if you go to Visual Studio Community and go to Preferences,
All right.
so the Visual Studio menu, depending on what license you have, will reflect that. But yeah, so you are in the new editor. So if you want to show people how to do this, and everybody who's watching online, if you're on an older version of VS for Mac, like 8.0, you have to enable the new editor. But in 8.1 and subsequent releases, the new editor is going to be on by default. So you'd want to ensure that you're using the new editor if you want to use those features. If you run into any bugs, you can always back out of the new editor and go back to the old one as well. So wanted to throw that out there just to get everybody knowing what to do if they wade into the new editor experience.
Sure, you step in and you're not comfortable. You want to step back into something that's a little bit more tried and true.
Want to take it slowly.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. Now, this is a project that we've been working on off and on. It's building a series. It's building a bot I have hanging out here. We've been slowly adding capabilities to this. Yeah, there it is. So, like, folks in the chat room can type ! Oh my, and we'll hear George Takei and I'm waiting for anybody from the chat room to troll us here. Is it going to happen? No! ! Oh my, one word.
Oh my.
There it is.
There we go.
And of course, our friends from Dude, Where's My Car with And Then. My favorite programming language, JavaScript. Horses love JavaScript with the Scott is there. Go ahead, try it. ! There you go. There's And Then. ! Scott works as well. There it is. Yes, we don't need to yell too much for Scott. Thank you, Jaywood. So, right, we've got these features built that they work okay. But I'm noticing, thank you. Yes, moderators don't get a cooldown. Hey, Brave Cobra, great to see you. But I'm already noticing I've got the little screwdriver icon here, and I've got the cool refactorings that I expected, and I've got in Visual Studio 2019 available to me. That's pretty cool. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So we use the same iconography. So if you're familiar with the wrench or the light bulb with the exclamation point, you probably know what each of those mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then we use the same iconography to make it more comfortable for people who are
coming
new
over
to VS
from
for Mac.
Windows.
Exactly.
Do you find that a lot of folks that are using Visual Studio for Mac have come over to the Mac and this version from full Visual Studio, and it's not folks that have been on the Mac and are saying, "Hey, I want a great IDE experience"?
I think it's both. I think
it's a mixture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have a good number of people who are familiar with the Microsoft ecosystem who've maybe come through Visual Studio, and folks who want to explore development on a Mac. We also have folks who came from a Xamarin background who may be familiar with developing on a Mac and developing in this environment as well. So you really get a big mixture of different backgrounds and whatnot coming into the IDE. And that's one of the challenges that we have, and one of the things that we try to balance is we want to maintain the look and feel to people who've been using this for a while. We don't want to move stuff around on them, but we also want to make sure that people who are coming over from a different IDE do feel comfortable. So it is a balance that we always constantly work on.
So we want it to stay feeling very Mac, but bring all the great features that folks know from Visual Studio. Cool. All right. And I've still got my yellow underlines here. Determines starts with is culture aware and missing a string comparison argument. Nice. So we're getting those types of suggestions that encourage better programmer behavior automatically here for us. That's great stuff. What is that chat room saying?
I got pinged by somebody on the team that is accent color we want to change, not highlight color. So we can get pink now. But I mean, we want to move on from that topic. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
let's
important
take
to
a
me.
quick look.
But
See, it was over in the system preferences, and it was the
yeah,
accent color.
if accent, I just tested that locally. It does work. So let's go to general, and then the accent color, which I don't know why I'm not seeing that on.
I don't think I have it because I'm on an older version of Mac
Yeah.
OS.
Which version are you on? Yeah.
Ancient.
Ancient, yeah. So
No. This is High Sierra.
Yeah.
High Sierra, yeah.
Yeah, so that came in Mojave.
Yeah, I purposely avoided Mojave because I didn't want to push this little MacBook Air too hard. You know what I mean? It's like I saw when I installed High Sierra, I was like, oh, that's a lot. It's slowing down. So, yeah. Brave Cobra has a good question. Why would you prefer Visual Studio for Mac over VS Code? That's a good question that I'm sure we talked to a lot of folks about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Michaela, chime in if you've probably heard different experiences too. But from what I've heard, there's different tools for different jobs. People might want a full integrated IDE. Some of the features that you might get with seeing different things that you get inside a full IDE that you don't necessarily get inside VS Code. I think that it's often found that when we talk to developers, they have both VS Code and VS for Mac installed because there's different tools for different jobs. I think that's what ended up what you've seen. I don't know if Michaela, if you have some additional.
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially the same question as why would you use VS versus VS Code on Windows? It's a different kind of experience. It's fully integrated. Everything's there. Everything's already set up. All of it. You can do file, new project, hit build, hit run. Like everything's all integrated and set up. But as a consequence, it's not as customizable, not as flexible, not as lightweight as VS Code. I personally use both. It just depends what I'm doing.
So I like the comment from Jay Wood in the chat room. If you want that robust XAML editor, you're going to want to be in full Visual Studio or Visual Studio for Mac. If you just need to edit some code quickly and you don't need to go through and have a great debugging experience, you don't want to have a profiling experience, stick with Visual Studio Code. I could buy that.
Exactly. That's kind of the balance that we find.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Would be interested to know what the split is between Visual Studio Code and full, and how that differs Win to Mac. So, Simon, they're actually pretty similar. Visual Studio for Mac and Visual Studio for Windows are pretty close now in the editor functionality.
Mm-hmm.
The XAML editor is pretty close. There's some other work happening to raise the profile of some of the other features, right? We're bringing it in parity to Visual Studio 2019. That's great stuff to encourage. Yeah,
and it's a marathon, not a sprint. So there are there's features that we're bringing along based on user feedback. So if you go to developer community, and we have a lot of people asking for improved Git integration, for example. So we're working on that now, and we're trying to ensure that whatever we're working on is what people are asking for. So we don't want to put our priorities in the wrong place. So please, if there's anything you do want that you see as a difference between the two IDEs.
Why did that start?
I don't know, but I liked it.
It's groovy, but no.
It's like the end of the Academy Awards. I was talking too long, so you started playing that. And then,
No. There's a follow-up question here about Python tools. Any thoughts? So we've got a little bit of Python tooling in Visual Studio 2019. Any thoughts about adding Python capabilities to Visual Studio for Mac?
So that would depend on the feedback we get. Right now, we're focused on having a very polished C# experience end-to-end across all of those platforms. So you can use one language to target all those platforms, get a really polished C# editing experience across all of those. And once we feel like we've reached a point that's complete, or if we get enough feedback that people want other languages, then we can absolutely look into adding those. It just depends on the feedback that folks submit through developer community.
Terrific. And I love, right, that I love how data focused we are on the developer community, right? And I believe here it goes through provide a suggestion to get, and it'll take you to the same place.
Yep.
So
Yeah, exactly.
if somebody in the chat room wants to grab, if there's a Python tool suggestion, and drop that link into the chat room. If other folks are interested, you'll be able to click through. But check out that Visual Studio community and let them know if you are interested in Python features. Let your friends know. Let your colleagues know. If you want to try and stuff the bag and put a lot more votes in for Python, that's great. It helps make decisions, helps with roadmap planning when you get that kind of feedback.
And we really do use it. We look at it daily, basically. So we really do, base a lot of our prioritization off of that too. So we're not asking to throw it into a black hole or anything. We do read that, and we do check on it quite a bit.
Sure. All right. So I've gone through. I've had this application running. What are some of the other cool things that have happened with the C# editor here that we should probably call out before we move on? You said something about emoji in here.
Emojis, yes.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
All right.
No, not at all.
So,
though I don't know if you have the keyboard, the emoji keyboard on this version of Mac OS. Now I think about it.
probably not.
I think you do. It's try Command Control Spacebar in the editor.
Oh man, see now I'm running on a wireless Microsoft keyboard.
Oh no!
Boy. I know, right? All right, hang on. Can I put in?
So that would be Windows Control Spacebar, I guess.
No. It took
Have you remapped it all? Oh.
I didn't remap it. Let me try on the actual.
Copy and paste emojis.
All right, Command Control Spacebar.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there you go.
Did it actually put it in? No, it's probably.
You might have to double click. Or yeah. Oh, that's odd.
Let me see. Right, we just want to get that.
Gotta get that smiley face.
Come on, it'll make you feel good.
I think yeah. I don't know. I always use it with the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it might be the macOS version because, yeah, I know everyone on our team uses
that, and they use it extensively. But emojis in the ID,
yeah.
Brave Cobra, I wouldn't say a waste of time or not impressed. Look, folks want to have fun with emojis. Heck, you're on Twitch and folks are keying in and using emotes. I mean, look at the emotes that we see just right here in the chat room now. It's a way to be expressive and have fun in your code and communicate in a way that's a little bit more lighthearted and sometimes conveys a little bit more emotion than just, right?
Yeah, and one thing that's really important about the emoji support is we use the emoji because it's something that we can easily communicate. Like it's fun to see, it's quick and whatnot, but it's also what's behind the emoji support is actually the native input controls. So what this means is that we're using the native input controls that Mac OS provides. So if you speak a foreign language or a different language other than English, if you use a different character set like Cyrillic or Arabic, then you can natively enter those text characters into your comments, into your code, and that's really what is behind the emoji support. So it's all the same work that provides that, but emoji is the fun way to surface it, really.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. You also see it with things like long press on A to get like the accented A's and stuff like that.
That's kind of another Mac feature. So if you go inside the code and make sure I'm on the list, and let me see. Yeah, so there you go. So you get accented characters.
And
it'll choose the appropriate ones. That's something that I think our Windows friends need to learn from, right? How do I get to those alternate characters, those extra characters? Oh my gosh, look, Michaela's flipping out here. Oh my gosh. Yes, right? They can learn a thing or two from this. And
it's character map, right? Yeah, you got to launch character map, and then
the more they know and they try in other environments, the better it'll be. So it looks like it's not working because I'm on an older version of Mac OS. Is what it looks like.
Did you try activating the emojis with the keyboard, like arrow keys and enter?
Oh, I did the.
Um,
Hang on.
oh.
See, look at that. I'm fighting with my because I'm remapping the keyboard twice here, right? So if I do that, and
then-
yeah, if I try activating it like this and then enter, it's
Oh,
actually deleting the
no.
line, which is
That's
weird.
very odd.
But it
Yeah, that
clearly
might
hit
be
the
a
extra,
high Sierra bug.
right? It hit the
Yeah.
extra character set here,
Yeah, it might be a macOS version issue.
right? But I mean that's working with the umlauts. Right.
Which is actually really, as we said, the more important aspect of this feature set is the ability to use these extra character sets.
Yeah,
And,
right?
You know, if you do, yeah, and like it supports right to left languages.
Oh. And there's your
So all
pink
these
highlight.
different things.
And I got the pink highlight.
Yeah, and so it's all coming together now.
That's a wrong character. Try like a O, right? And there they all are. So yeah, the pink highlight came through there. It's got to be my version of Mac OS.
I think
I'm
it is.
gonna blame my cheesy Mac laptop. Easier than character map, absolutely, Simon. My gosh, character map and right control and the numeric keypad on Windows. Here's the thing: I don't have a numeric keypad, right? Because I've got my. It's a pain in the neck.
Check that out. Numeric keypad on a Mac. It's you
Yeah.
gotta buy it. It's worth it. It's there we go. Oh, it blurred out. I'm sorry.
That's
But
okay.
you guys, I'm not censoring my keyboard. It's actually a keyboard, and
Right. I've got the little mini hacking keyboard, so I don't have a numeric keypad with green keys. That's what it.
oh, and that is.
Yeah.
It looks like a Lego keyboard.
It does, and it feels very. It looks Fisher Price, but it's got a nice weight to it. It feels good. 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't owned a numeric keypad of any kind for at least like 6 or 7 years.
There you go. Right. Oh my god.
How do you type into Excel? And
There's numbers at the
numeric.
top.
What would I type into Excel?
numbers.
See that? Do I look like an accountant to you? All right. So, cool new C# editor, and there's the new XAML editor. Now, I don't have a XAML project currently loaded or on my system. I don't typically build things. Yeah, that was the chroma key, Brave Cobra. So why don't I just do a new project? File.
Let's do it.
All right, new solution. Don't save. We're just.
So yes, let's do a multi-platform app. I think would probably be the best demonstrator of this.
All right.
Let's do master detail forms app.
I'll choose that. Move along here. App name.
Name it. Yeah, whatever you think is a good app name.
Whatever
Hottest
you
spot.
think is good. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, we're they test the limits of character length here.
Test the limits of character length here.
Here. There
Right?
we go.
There we go. That works. No. Oh gosh. Let's report the weather, right? We'll just something weather and com C# Fritz. Sure, Android, iOS, use a shared library, mobile backend, add an ASP.NET Core Web API project. Sure, that sounds like a great idea. I thought I had that installed.
You see it has the latest version of .NET Core installed. So.
Yeah. Okay.
So once you do have that installed, then that would be activated.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would generally suggest using .NET Standard rather than a shared app because it will have better compatibility with the Windows version of VS. But building .NET Standard libraries requires the .NET Core SDK.
Yeah. All right, so let's just go through and create then.
Let's see it go.
Go! Do it! Create the thing! Yeah, I know. I don't have Xcode installed. We had a problem with that.
It's another. You have to have the latest Mac OS to have.
Yeah.
And getting hold of older versions of Xcode is a bit of a pain.
Thank you, Apple.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Go.
All right. So we do have to turn one thing on to make sure that the new XAML editor is used. So
Okay.
if you go to your VS for Mac preferences again.
This
You
looks
can.
like the new editor.
I just want to make sure. I think it might be, but if you go to expand the behaviors under text editor
The little brain icon.
There it is. XAML.
and check out
Yep,
XAML,
there we go.
and it is the new editor. So if you want to use the new editor, folks who are on preview, make sure you go into XAML and click on Enable New XAML Language Service, and that will, light up the new editor. So I wanted to make sure that's, that's there for people who want to opt into this experience.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
this is now the same underlying XAML editor as is used on Windows, whereas in the past we had our own kind of like independently implemented XAML experience.
So I do have, and you can't see it here over my shoulder, I can preview, and I can do the split view just like I kind of expect, right?
Yeah.
And does the same initialization time.
Might have
Yes,
issues
I
without
don't have
Xcode.
So we'll try
Yeah.
Android. This is what I get for having a rinky-dink little MacBook Air instead of...
It's live TV. That's what
it's
happens.
live! Oh my gosh. Start all the Android.
So the previewer shows you exactly what you'll get on the device because it actually renders it natively. So in the case of the iOS previewer, for example, it starts up a headless iOS simulate and renders it on that. In
Nice.
the Android case, it uses like a port of the Android UI running on a Java VM and stuff. So it can take a little while to boot up because it's essentially booting up like a whole like OS and toolkit and everything.
This is why you want, as a developer, you want a MacBook Pro and not a little MacBook Air.
Or it's time to go get coffee, or
Hey! That's a great idea. Go get some coffee, go get some tea. There we go.
Not now.
So yeah.
Don't leave us now. But
All right. So we got it. We can make it better. We can make it stronger. We can make it more than just app name 1.0. Because we've got all the source. And I mean, there's something to be said about we've lost the visual in Visual Studio when folks aren't doing this type of interaction for more and more of their applications, right?
yeah, these declarative UIs. I mean, you have it now in Apple with the Swift UI or whatever they're calling it. So it's becoming a more common UI development paradigm.
Sure.
So.
Right? Gee, wonder why they would think that's such a great thing.
I know.
So, and as a web developer, it always warms my heart when I see spans in XAML. you know what I'm saying, don't you, Miguel? So, I get the same quick edit experience that I expect and that I've seen, right, over in normal Visual Studio, right? I can write code that I will share with, and it all updates back and forth and still looks good. Nice. You can write macOS apps in VS for Mac as well using Cocoa, and you get a full native apps.
Oh my.
Yes, oh my indeed. Right?
Yeah, it's actually one of the things that it's exactly what that was. One of the things that's interesting is that we use the VS for Mac and the Mac OS framework to write the new editor as well. So all the Cocoa stuff in the new editors is
built using the editor.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's
And
you use the editor to write the editor.
Chat room, can you clip the crashing plate there behind Cody? Can we get a clip on that, because that's just priceless. I'm sorry. That was a very upset cat.
I put the cat in a different room and it still got mad at me.
It's still upset at
The
you.
problem is I have the cat toy right here, so it's gonna wear out again. But yeah.
Yeah, the cat's gonna come back over, and you know what the cat's gonna be saying?
Shame.
No, not rim shot.
Shame.
That. Yes.
So yeah.
The cat's going to be quite upset. He's excited for XAML. Right.
The cat really just wanted to see some pink highlights in the accent color. So
it's still only blue. So we get all this stuff so we can build the Android app over here. All of our assets, about assets, but right, we can put them in there. I forget how to build Android apps. It's been forever since I've done it, but
that's one of the powers of Xamarin Forms. You don't have to remember how to build an Android app or an iOS app. You just need to know how to build a Xamarin Forms app, and then you're able to deploy to to both of those different frameworks. So that's kind of the
joy.
That was a good segue. I wasn't planning.
See how I did that? No, oh my gosh, I had to learn.
And it still maps into a native UI, so you get a native UI experience in the end.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we just got a subscription from Imperial. Thank you so much, Imperial. She used to be Imperial Girl. Now she's just Imperial. I need a Star Wars sound effect for that. Thanks so much for the sub. 3 months in a row. That'll put you into a Red Hat badge. Thank you very much, Imperial. She does sewing. She plays games. She does all kinds of stuff over there on her stream. Thanks so much for the sub. And I'll make a donation to Veterans Who Code this quarter. Thank you very much. And there you go. Ancient Coder just shared with us the angry cat clip. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, Ancient Coder. I appreciate that. We're gonna have to tweet that out. Thank you, Imperial. Oh my gosh, we're sharing the Visual Studio for Mac love here today. Okay. XAML editor. What are some of the things that I can do in the XAML editor that I couldn't do before? We're all baffled. By
yes,
by
you
the
can
cat.
get I was watching the video. You get full XAML IntelliSense, which is a big thing. You get fuzzy searching. So, for example, if you where it says formatted string.spans, if you return from that and try to do it or outside the bracket and do a return and type in bracket SA, you should still get IntelliSense that would match span because it does the fuzzy searching.
No,
and
I'm not getting any IntelliSensing here.
Any IntelliSense.
Is that me?
It might be because it's a shared project.
Yeah, we can.
I think it's because it's a shared project. I think we should probably install .NET Core.
Is there a way to show off my
installed.
computer?
Oh, absolutely. We can do that.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I can kind of
get around some of the.
I'm not. Yeah.
Difficulty.
I will
that I'm
warn.
having.
Let me clean up my dock here. Close all these different apps.
And what I will do.
Slack. I'm kidding.
Trolling there. Oh my goodness. That was. For those of you that don't know what Cody's referring to, check out The Verge this past weekend. So let's do this. Yeah, Cody, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, let me see here. How do I do this? How do I use a computer? Let's see. Share. Where's the button?
Bottom
share
right.
Screen. There it is. All right, you guys can. Let me increase my display size so you guys can see better.
Give me 1 second here. We're gonna shift things slightly.
All right, I'm gonna hit start sharing, and we're gonna go for it. Let me make sure I got VS for Mac open. All right, let's see what happens.
That one. All right. Looks good. I am going to. I gotta check. I need this one, and we're going to add. Look at this. This is on the fly changing things up here. Not that one. That one. Fantastic. Just a little bit. There we go. Now we're seeing your screen there above me.
All right, there we go. Here we are. So
And you can
this
also
is
see, and you can also see those beautiful pink highlights.
yes.
Yes.
See, I was testing in the background. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a quick little Forms app here. So click on multi-platform app and master detail Forms app. This is what we're showing on. So I'm going to name it Angry Cat. And here again, as Michaela alluded to, since I do have .NET Core installed, we have the latest version of .NET Standard to use, which again increases that shareability of your code across Windows and Mac. And also, I am going to add an ASP Core Web API project just because I like to live dangerously on live. This isn't TV. I don't know what the live internet.
Yeah,
And
I have it installed on that machine because I've been building those other apps. So I'm kind of curious about that one. But all right, here we go.
there's some versions. You have to make sure you have the credit. There's a specific version that we're working through some issues with. So you want to make sure that you're on 2.2, I believe, of .NET Core. 2.1.1 is having some issues. So you want to make sure that you're that the correct version is used. So here we go. Now, I don't know if I'm in the new editor. I believe I am. So let's find out. Again, so you would go to text editor, behaviors, and XAML, and I do have it enabled. So that's fantastic. So one of the things I was trying to show off there can you guys see, is enough font size good? Everybody's good?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Perfect. All right. So one of the cool things about the new editor is that you can have, let's let this load. Beach balls mean things are working in the background. I went too soon. I'm still gathering class information. So I'm going to, what's it called on TV when you spread things out to make it?
When you're killing time.
Killing time, yeah, that's one way, yeah. So right, this class information finish gathering. So one of the things that we do is that when you first load a project, we load the workspace of the file that's open, and then in the background, we load all the different class information of the rest of the project. And that's the stuff that gives you IntelliSense and highlighting and all that nice stuff. So you're able to do the file that you're working on real quick, and then all the other files in the background.
Okay.
So let's wait for that to load.
Yeah, see, it didn't pause at all for me on my install. There's the pink.
So here we go.
All
here
right.
we go. And the highlighting. So as you can see, we have full IntelliSense. We have the different types of options you have here. And we also have camel case insensitivity, which one of the issues of the previous IntelliSense was that it was case sensitive. So if you wanted to get formatted string, you have to do formatted string in that camel casing. You don't have to do that anymore. You can also do some fuzzy matching. So FOMA, I'm not fear of missing out. I'm fear of missing out on formatted. That's FOMO, not FOMA. I don't know what FOMA is. Anyway, formatted string. So you're able to get that in there as well. I'm not quite sure exactly what we want to type in, but let's see if we can. One of the things we can also do is that we have access to resource dictionaries within IntelliSense, which is a rather new experience that we have within the new editor. Let me find where we can add that. So down here we have button background. So I'll type this out again so you guys can see. You guys can see that live. So previously we wouldn't be able to do the IntelliSense for the resource dictionary. So you'd have to scroll up to your resource dictionary, see what it's called, blah blah blah.
You can't do comments in the middle of elements.
See, this is why they don't trust me to do these demos.
You could just Alt down to move the line down.
Yeah.
You could have just Alt down the commented line to move it below.
Yeah. Live TV. All right, so again, so we can do background color. So again, so here's a full list of the IntelliSense also. So just typing B, you get all these different options. If I do BCK, it still knows I probably want background color, so I click there. And I can do my squiggly thing to get a binding to a static resource. So I do static resource, and I can choose which color we want here. So accent key, like text color, and primary. So we're able to again access these resource dictionary elements within IntelliSense, which is a rather new feature. I do want to show off one quick thing, which is the emoji keyboard.
Yeah,
let's see if it works
I'm having a problem with that. Nice.
There we go. Is it going to insert into there? Let's open a C# file. open up the backing file. And again, this is the new editor as well. So what can we show? We have this is just getting released tomorrow. So this is actually, I'm using the
preview.
I'm using the preview version. This is the internal preview, so it's even more preview.
Don't tell anyone.
Yes, this is super preview. So in the super preview, we do have a new feature for type filtering. So if you're familiar with VS Windows, you can always say, I want to see only
classes,
you can classes, delegates, and we do have the hover tooltips to enums. So you can always methods. You can always go ahead and filter that too. So that's a new feature we have. One of the cool ones that's I'm going to open up a different app to show. We can show it here too. Is that we also now allow you to see completions for libraries you don't necessarily have imported. So for example, if we want to add.
Oh my gosh, this is the JSON.NET feature, right? Everybody at some point starts typing JSON convert. Oh, I don't have JSON.NET installed. You have to go get it.
And
exactly.
This is actually a great example of the way that the interaction between Windows and Mac goes both ways, because this was a feature we had in the old editor, and they added that to Windows so that we wouldn't lose that.
Exactly. So this is actually for the Windows fans who are on the stream. This is a feature that is coming to Windows. I hope nobody gets mad at me for saying that, but it is coming to Windows, and it is part of our integrated experience going forward between the shared core between VS Mac and VS Windows. This is, as Michaela alluded to, this is a feature that actually we put back into the ecosystem that we had in the old editor. So again, so you can do JSON convert, and it does go ahead and import it as well. So it's a feature that it's one of those ones that I never really thought about it when I was in the old editor. But when I lost it, it was like, what am I doing? How do I type? Which clearly I have issues typing to begin with, as you guys have seen. But when you take that away, I'm even more useless. So
we've talked a little bit about IntelliSense and some of these things. Brave Cobra asks, does it have the new IntelliCode? I don't think that's made it to Visual Studio.
It does not support IntelliCode currently. That's something that if that's something important to you, then you can submit that on developer community to help us bring that over faster. It's just a question of prioritization. Like everything we do means that we can't do something else. So
thinking out loud and not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, IntelliCode has a lot of external services it uses for the modeling. So hopefully we'll be able to reuse those when the extension is built into the editor.
And I don't want to get too much into the weeds of some of the architecture, which one of our developers is actually working on some really nice documentation on extending the editor in VS for Mac and the way that it's architected. But it uses the Microsoft extensions, the MEF framework. So a lot of the extensions that use that on Windows side, getting those to work into the VS Mac ecosystem, while not trivial, is also not a non-starter. So you should be able to get some of these extensions, brought over as well. So, and that also includes things like IntelliCode. It's we can't just plop it in there, but we can also, now that we have this shared core, we can iterate on it a lot quicker and hopefully get some of those features over here.
We've got an on-ramp.
There are some caveats. Like there are certain layers that are portable and certain layers that aren't portable. So about a year ago, the editor team added a new asynchronous completion API, which was designed to be shareable. The old completion API was not portable. It was bound to Windows APIs. So anything that uses the new APIs is portable in that case, but anything that uses the older APIs is not. So there's a lot of little caveats like that, but it is now possible to build a pretty substantial editor extension that can be completely shared between Windows and Mac.
Very cool.
I have an MS Build IntelliSense extension that I built for Mac, and I've been porting that to the new shared APIs, so that can now be run in both Windows and Mac with the exact same assemblies.
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna close this solution real quick, not save it because we don't want to save those changes. I really don't want to save those changes. I want to show one quick thing before we want to hop back over to your system, Jeff, and see if we can do some of the changes to the app you were talking on. One thing I did want to show, and this is kind of in line with what we were speaking of earlier, which is these quick fixes. So this is a project that I stole borrowed from one of the PMs on the stole borrowed. Yes, it's a new term I made up. One of the PMs on the.
Okay, go ahead.
one of the PMs on the Windows side who's working on some of these quick fixes and stuff too. So this just kind of goes through all the quick fixes that we've added to Windows to ensure they work on the Mac side as well. So we click on the wrap every parameter. So these are new ones that came out in VS Windows 2019. So we can indent all parameters. So these are one of my favorite ones over here. Once we add, so first let's add system collections generic, is to turn the for each into a link query. So
yes.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't remember link syntax ever. So this, I do remember for each. So, even though it's a lot simpler looking, I can't remember it. So we do have that ability to do that as well. Again, these are shared between both IDEs.
I always end up having to research link syntax because I'd prefer to use the method syntax for everything, right? And just dot my way to victory through the...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was a quick fix option for that too, I think.
Nice. All right. I prefer
so I just want to show off some of those again. That's kind of speaks to that shared core, and this is really the best way I think of this is step one was getting the shared core in place. As Michaela pointed out, there are many more steps to take, but it's now that we have this in place, those steps should go a lot faster.
And now that you have the preview ring in place, preview channel in place, it feels like you're moving faster. We've seen a couple of preview versions come very quickly here. We just had the full version came out in April, and now we're pushing and seeing more of these that come out. Look at all right, you showing off there with the emojis because it works on your machine.
Yeah, I know. So exactly. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to talk and do stuff at the same time, which is highly recommended for people.
What do you think I'm doing here?
So we do have the ability to iterate really quickly, and like you said, so we are getting these preview features out faster. For example, in 8.0, this new editor was an opt-in feature. So if you downloaded 8.0, you would have the old editor, and we're able to, through the preview channel, through people using the preview channel, get enough feedback, enough testing on it that we're able to quickly, promote it up to the stable channel within, a month and a half. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that we're hoping to do with like the XAML editor, and then down the road, as our roadmap indicates, start doing some of the web editors to make sure that people who are doing JavaScript, let's do the horse. Putting JavaScript, people who are doing CSS, HTML, we want to make sure that they're on the most modern editor as well. So that's something that we're putting out there. So let's do this. Let's say hello. Let's do German. Is it H? I'm just going to do all the different. I don't know. That's not right.
No,
I haven't taken
right.
German fire.
You could type Motley Crue with the U with the umlaut, right?
Uber. There you go.
There you go. Sure.
And let's do this, and let's do. What should we do? Thumbs up. Give it a run.
And it'll actually output it.
Let's hope. This. I haven't done this. Let's see. Oh yeah. Yep. You can access to that. There we go.
Cool.
So,
all right. So it's passing the emojis through all the way through.
Exactly. And it's using the same core, the Cocoa UI. So if you think on WPF on Windows, that's the kind of the UI framework that runs all the different controls you see and whatnot. Mm-hmm. The Mac equivalent is called Cocoa. And so what's giving the native input, what's giving that umlaut and that thumbs up, that's all part of the Cocoa UI process. And that's what essentially this is. This is a Cocoa UI view built on top of the editor.
Very cool. All right.
Do you guys want to hop back over and do some coding, since I'm not good at that?
Since you're not. Wow. All right, hang on. We gotta change the way things look here. Stand by. All right, you stopped sharing screens over on your side, so now I've got to change all the things here.
There's a lot of us now. I should.
Yeah. Look at that, right? I need to turn off. See, you've caught me offline. There we go. That's better. Whew. All right, I've got to turn things back around here so I know what's going on. So it's funny when I change settings here so I can share my screen. So I can take your screen to share and show what's going on. It takes a few steps to make things all look and work the same again. And now I'm going to share my screen back to you. And that's this one. Yes. All right, but that's... Oh, boy. 1 second. I'm going to get this right, chat room, I promise. I need to... There we go. Now they can see what I've got going on. Oh, my goodness. Right? So much. Where'd chat room go? There, now I can see the chat room. So, no question about Visual Studio for Linux. Now, Visual Studio Code is available for Linux. That's something that we've heard a number of folks. There's a very vocal minority that says, oh, we want full Visual Studio for Linux. But really, they just want the text editor with some of the text editor features. They're not looking for all the profiler and things that go along with it, right?
There are people who want the full experience on Linux, and there is an issue on developer community where people have expressed their desire for that. It would be a huge initiative for us to port that, though, so we need to see like a lot of demand to kind of justify that.
Sure. We need to see the data to support a decision like that. Because, I mean, let's face it, it is a business decision. It's not something we can just throw money at and hope something turns out. But, I mean, you have a great editor and debugger experience with Visual Studio for Code. So, with great command line and all that happening over there. Now, what happened? Chat room, help me out here, chat room. What? Look at this. My sentiment went through the floor. Come on now. Help me out.
Is it because did I pull the rug out from under everybody by turning off my screen sharing? I'm sorry.
No. I don't know what. Come on now. Help me out here, chat room. Right?
That's what's making my cat angry.
It's the cat's angry because the sentiment. There we go. Thank you for the hype. That's better. Now look at the sentiment.
There we go. 100%.
Better than that. Thank you. Everybody's happy now. Right, don't say this. Right? So we've been tinkering on this application, and this is the application that we've been using that plays the sound effects in the background. It does these three numbers that you see here below me. The number of followers that we currently have. Look at that. We're about to touch 6,700. The number of current viewers, and this one is actually sentiment analysis. So, yeah, Cody, every time somebody types something into chat, it actually bounces that off of Azure Cognitive Services, and we get that number. Now, see that? Right, you're so happy, but it's recalculating over the last 1 minute, and things shift and change. See that? And yeah, come on now, with the crying and angry. What? See that? So...
Is it the Stammered Monkey too? That's not good.
I know. What's interesting about this, and where I think we need to go as part of July, and I'm thinking in July we're going to do a lot of AI work, and we'll call the month. We'll have a theme month for July. Now, Michaela, tell me if I'm completely off on this. We'll call our month of July AI July. Come on. That's it. It rhymes. It's better than July OT. Okay.
I
No?
actually kind of like July OT. Actually.
July OT might be a little bit. All right, fine. I liked AI July, but all right, July OT. Maybe we'll do July OT. So we've been slowly adding features to the chatbot, and that's what's doing some of the sound effects that the chat room plays, calculating these three things here, and it knows how to interact with GitHub to put the little ticker that you see at the top of the screen that shows all the folks that have made commits to the projects we work on, right? So we've got this really neat integrated experience that does all the things here on the channel. And it'll even, if people type exclamation point Skeet, it'll output some select John Skeet quotes. When John Skeet points to Null, Null quakes in fear. See? So John Skeet can recite pi backwards. So all kinds of great features there. See? When John Skeet's code fails to compile, the compiler apologizes. It's true. Don't argue with it. So we have those things. And there's a couple of tasks that we have kind of hanging out here that I was hoping I could get some input on to work on here. We've already built out, and I've got a feature here to do my the sound effects, and I built it out very simply as a command. I have a command object, one here that does the sound effects. This is what I was showing earlier. So I've got a command that listens. It first checks to see if a user can execute a command here on line 41. And then it checks to see, well, do I have an internal cooldown I need to listen for? Because I don't want people to constantly hit and then in the chat room. Don't try that. It'll run 6 times and then it'll stop for a minute. Anyways, but it'll check to see there's the and then checks. And it'll play the sound effect. And it plays the sound effects. See, now Brave Cobra's being smart and actually using the emote there in chat. Nice. Those are custom emotes to my Twitch channel. We don't have those on the Mac. Anyways, so it's true. We have custom emotes. All the little .NET bots and things, they're all available. There's a .NET bot with shades, a .NET bot attacking, another one with a shield. I've even got. Can somebody put the Octocat with the rainbow beard in the chat room? Yeah, the GitHub Octocat. It's crazy. I've got 18 of these things running around. Anyways, so this actually connects over to, uses SignalR, connecting to an ASP.NET Core application where and I've got the browser source embedded inside of OBS here so that folks can hear the sound effects. Hey, BB, good to see you. Thank you, Brave Cobra. There's the Octocat with the rainbow beard. It's really a thing. I have stickers. There they are.
That's pretty awesome looking.
Right?
I like it.
So there we go. That's from our friend Corgi Candy is her name, her handle that drew those. So I've got these great features to be able to send out these commands. And look, there's all my I have 6 end ends. That's not at all crazy. This machine, the Mac, I don't check in my sound effects when I check them into source control because I don't necessarily have the license to distribute these things. It does look like magic strings in there. Can we extract and then to a constant? Actually, so Brave Cobra is pointing exactly to where I want to go. This, let me show you. Where is it? Where it'll send the message. What I'd like to do is, I'd like to extract the magic strings into a configuration so that I can have a configuration file sitting outside and these magic strings go away. That feels like a refactoring that with some of the new features in the C# editor might be a little bit easier to do. Make sense? Right? Where is it? I forget where it is that it actually does it. Execute, internal cooldown check, no. And I love the collapsing stuff here, right? There it is. So this hub context, right there you can see it calling SignalR and actually firing the sound effect. And the sound effect page knows how to reach into a content folder, look for the file that it's been sent, and just play that file. But I want to take these and remove it. And then is kind of a special case, right? Because it's got this weird logic because I've got 6 of them. I did have. You're gonna think this was stupid, Michaela, and I'm going to apologize now. I did have 6 and then commands, so you literally typed and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, and it would play the appropriate sound effect. This way, it randomly chooses one now, and plays it. Right? Can I get one of those playing out of the chat room?
And then.
There it is. And if you do it again, it plays a different one.
And then.
And it randomly chooses them. So up to 6 of them. See that? Yeah. Right? It's funny, listening to the movie, I actually identified 10 different and thens that she had but 5 of them sounded the same, so I removed them anyways. They were close enough that I had to exclude them. So if I'm refactoring to remove these, I think that's a good refactoring to do here. I've got these very clear definition of collection of objects, right? The command that I'm going to execute, and this block here, I created it as a tuple just because I wanted to use a dictionary and pass around the strongly typed object of what these things are. So thinking out loud, and help me out with this if you don't mind, I have app settings down here that will get loaded up inside of the application. And I think we'll only spend a few minutes on this and we can wrap up. So I've got all my configuration stuff here and places where I'm purposely typing in things to say, don't key in your secrets here, Jeff. Right, is my sentiment analysis key, right? I'm not typing that in there either. But I've got all my different commands here. I feel like I can add another section here, right? And instead of just having, right, I've already done this once. I've got all these text commands to say things like, here's my Discord link. I drink G Fuel. Here's my keyboard if you want to learn more about my keyboard. So folks can key in these commands and run something. I feel like I could have another section here that is sound effects with whatever the command is, the name of the file to play, and then a cooldown, and do something very similar here so I can load up those commands. Those, right? Yeah, they're commands inside of the command processor. Right? That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Good? Yeah, see that? They're already firing. Look at that. They're firing the G Fuel command. They try. It's not and now. It's and then. So, the question from I don't know how to. I can't. I don't know how to read the characters, but it says vile is what it translates it to. Or I don't know if it's supposed to be vile or veal. If I'm pronouncing it with a little French accent there. How does the bot run on the back end? So this bot loads up as a hosted service inside of an ASP.NET Core application. This way I can run it inside of a Docker container, have a web front end that I can connect to, plus these numbers that you see here are actually web pages. So I can present all of those pretty easily using OBS. So if I'm going to simplify this and turn this into maybe sound effects commands here, right? I want it to look something like, see that my sound, type it in right, Jeff. Sound effects commands, right? And I should be able then to start defining some of these here. The only one that kind of sticks out though is the and then. I feel like that one I kind of need to skip. There's like special logic around that one. But these other ones here I think I can still use pretty easily. Sound commands, there is no but now. No but now command. So maybe if I copy these, right? Now is it Command C in Visual Studio for Mac, or can I do Control C?
It would be Command C.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it's the Control tab that'll take me across. Nice. All right, so I have that collection of commands, and we ran into this discussion with Glenn Condren around, I have an array of these things, and we're going to need to load and handle them special. And everybody hates special processing for these. So we know JavaScript doesn't like time span. It doesn't know what that is. And I don't want these things, but I want to have these same types of names and things in front of it.
You could also consider just making the commands the keys into an object.
The commands the keys into an object.
So it would be like oh my colon then.
So I see where you're going with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. Right, if I do right like this,
and then an object, yeah.
Right, and if I go like that, each one of these would need to have a property with this, right? This is the text to output. See, they caught you singing then there, Michaela. They don't let us go with this. I've created a monster in my chat room.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
And then I know like file colon oh my yeah.
Yeah. Right. File another quote colon. My concern, right? And then I'd set it also now.
Cool down. Yeah.
Right. And we probably want to change this from time span from seconds
30.
to yeah. Yeah. Right.
And that could be an int.
Oh, you're right. So here's my concern. Well, maybe not. So this is the activation code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called Brave Cobra saying I created a monster, and of course chiming in, it's called Brave Cobra too. Thank you. Thank you. So, the concern with doing it this way is when I create another command in here, it's going to be whatever that new command is here, right? If it's Owen Wilson's wow, right? Then how do I know?
Oh, it'll just be text file and cooldown again.
Sure, right? Okay, these objects are the same. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But when I load up the sound effects commands,
you'll basically get a dictionary of commands into what the payload of those commands is.
right. So I would need to parse these out, and I need to look at what this first key is here for the name of this.
Well, so currently you would, like, if you look at the way you define your text commands, you're basically going to get an array of objects, right?
Yes.
And those objects contain the command ID and the payload. And so you're going to have to then convert that into a dictionary. So when you're dispatching a command, you look up the command string and then get the payload and execute the payload. Whereas if you were to have it in, like, a JSON object is essentially a dictionary, right?
Yeah. It sounds like Cody's got a run here. Thanks so much for joining us, Cody. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sorry about my cat. And
we loved the
Thanks,
cat.
Evan.
The cat was great.
That was the highlight, yeah. All right, thanks, everybody. Yeah, thank you.
All righty, we'll catch you later.
Thanks, Cody.
Bye.
And I want to make sure I drop the correct. Yep, there he is. There we go. All right. So, but this is the. I see what you're saying. It's a JSON dictionary. It's a JSON collection that we're loading and working with. This is being loaded though into the configuration object for .NET.
Oh, yeah. I'm not familiar with how app settings JSON maps into objects.
Yeah. Is that
yeah.
Is that JED UCO XML schema has key refs, but the Visual Studio XML editor ignores them? Well, I'm not actually even adhering to a schema at this point. So it's right. I'm kind of in. It's app settings, right? It's free flowing. It's structure your configuration however you'd like, and good luck. So.
And you're actually doing exactly this with your stream services above, right? You've got like.
Where'd they go? Yes.
Well, yeah.
So what's interesting about that is, in order for me to know how to load each one of these, I do need to have, right, Twitch, and my Twitch service knows how to load and parse and handle itself. And Mixer, right, has a different way that it interfaces, so we need to configure it differently. And I have a fake one here so that I can do some integration testing without actually connecting to Twitch or Mixer. So, this does.
I was thinking like longer term, the sound effects commands collection doesn't even need to be different than the other commands collection.
Than this
right?
one,
yeah. It could just be one big dictionary of commands to payloads, and some of those payloads might be simple responses, some might be a sound file, some might be a sequence of sound files.
A sequence of Michaela, what are you trying to do to me here?
I mean, you have a sequence of sound files.
Okay.
And then
Oh, wow! I didn't even. Okay, all right, that's not bad. So instead of okay, hang on. So if let's get rid of wow.
And then
No, stop it! It gets crazy. So instead of just having, so if I do it a little bit like this, I do need to have a file to go with it and a cooldown.
Yeah.
These should probably have a cooldown also, though.
Probably, yeah. What does and you could probably have a default cooldown for commands unless you explicitly assign a cooldown to them. They'd have the default cooldown.
Did I? I think I created a default cooldown somewhere. Yeah, there we go. And I gave it, of course, 0. Smart, Jeff. Smart. Way to go there.
I love it when a plan comes together.
No, it doesn't. I gave it a bad number there. Okay, hang on. So if I did this similar to how I do the let me collapse these up. So if I do this similar to that with the command response block. So okay, so if it's right command, oh my, okay. And we don't need this one. So we have the text. Well, let's not make it text. Let's make it response. Right? So I have some response to go with it.
Well, so one of the reasons I was thinking that you could have the command be the object key was that then the JSON editor will check that you don't have duplicated command IDs.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, not just the JSON editor, but when config loads it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Chat room, why didn't you suggest that before? Right? So, all right, so I've got a cooldown in seconds. The file, let's change this to response so it matches. But I like your suggestion of, let me move this
And
one.
you can also remove the square bracket at a couple lines above, because it doesn't need to be an array anymore.
It does. Oh, because we have one object.
Yeah.
Right, I can delete that back.
Which is functionally a dictionary rather than an object.
Okay.
But there's not really a distinction in JSON.
No, you're right. So, okay, so I need a comma here, so I have and then. Now, I like what you were saying about this one. So, the response is this.
And
Yes, that's the one I'm working on. So instead of having just one file, I could say and then 1.mp3.
Yep.
And then 2 mp3, not in m.
And your code that reads it could just check whether it's a string or an array of strings and have different behavior depending on which it finds.
Yeah. Oh, it formatted on me. I love how smart the JSON editor is, but sometimes it's too smart, you know?
Yeah, it can be a little finicky sometimes.
I've run into this issue with 2019 where the preview version is, it's getting my indents a little bit messed up, and I'm fighting with that.
So the JSON editor in VS for Mac is one of those things that will be improving soon, because so originally when we released VS for Mac a few years ago, the web editors team ported the JSON editing experience from Windows to our old editor, but then we essentially had what became an outdated fork. But now that we have the shared editor infrastructure, they're porting over the current editor, and we'll be able to continue like keeping them in sync much more easily now. So we'll have the exact same editor
and
on
that
both
experience.
Mac and Windows.
Okay, cool. So then that lines up, and I've got now instead of comma here, I would move the JavaScript bits, and I love the alt up and down is like, thank you, chat. Dear Lord, Brave Cobra is all over me tonight. All right, so if I move that over here, delete this back to here, yes, And then if I do that,
Are you going to miss out on automatic object mapping? I don't know how the automatic object mapping works.
I don't either.
Like,
Hey, Robert
will
Tables.
it just synthesize some object that has all of these fields,
So
or does it require all of the objects to have the same? Oh well, I guess because it's not an array anymore, it's not gonna.
right.
Yeah.
It's going to see this as a collection of objects. So now here's the rimshot command, right? How's it going there, Robert Tables? It's a little known fact. His name really isn't Robert. But it is the greatest trolling handle on Twitch, if I do say so myself. Good to see you, sir. So, and am I right that the latter? Yes, there you go. Am I right that, Robert, you're going to be joining us at TwitchCon? So we're doing some really neat stuff for folks on the Live Coders team at TwitchCon. So Robert works a lot with, yes, I'm going to say it again, with JavaScript and containers on another cloud, on the Amazon cloud. Really cool stuff that he does on his stream to show folks how to get around containers and be productive over there. That looks right, if I have it right. You're going to skip this one? Fine, I'm going to push it then. If you can't get air in hotel, you'll drive and sleep in your car. Oh, dude. You got tickets including the party. Fantastic. And does hardware. So every Saturday, Michaela, this is... Robert's a little enjoying the mechanical keyboard genre a bit. He builds keyboards and other hardware on Saturdays on his stream. Really cool
Very
stuff
cool.
to see. Yeah, right?
Very cool. Yeah.
So now the question is, how does that load when we get to our command?
Yeah. What does that look like? What do the objects coming from the mapper look like?
I don't know. So, all right, so it would be constructed here, and I would want to receive... I want to receive the configuration, right? So that's... look, now I'm getting the pink highlights.
Oh yeah. Odd.
It
just took some time.
It needed some time. I only have 9 keyboards. It's not that bad. Robert, what he does have, Michaela, is...
But what I do have
He has, yes.
are a very particular set of skills.
Very particular.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Of making keyboards. Sean says he's making up for me for not having any keyboards. You don't have any keyboards, Sean? I'm sure that somebody can loan you one. All right, so I configuration. If I write it's I keep doing that. I keep doing
Alt Enter.
Is it Alt Enter? No, wrong one.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is Alt Enter. I just don't know what key on your keyboard Alt is.
No. This one? No. That one? No. I'm trying to get the... There it is. Windows dot, because I'm remapping 3 ways in my head and then across. So now I should be able to save, right? If now I've got the pink highlighting. This configuration equals.
Yeah.
That's much better.
Very nice.
It did. It had to wait.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to run into the same thing with this Windows dot to get it to generate that.
Yeah,
there we go. Read-only property.
Yep.
All right. So I should be able to inspect that now and see what it's actually doing.
Yep.
No, I'm not using the Vortex Race 3, Robert. I'm actually using... I'm on 2 machines at once here. I've got my Windows machine with the Vortex keyboard, and we showed that earlier. This is a Microsoft wireless keyboard that I have plugged into my Mac. So.
Would you like to see my keyboard?
Oh, please. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's... the filter went over it, but I love the multicolored rainbow keyboard.
I can turn the filter. I can turn the filter off. It's not super important.
But I love the multicolored there. That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm not too big into like modding the underlying keyboards, but I do like my custom keycaps.
Yes, there's definitely something. And is that the Happy Hacker keyboard layout? Robert's asking.
Nope, nope, it's a Corsair K65 with cherry reds.
Nice. I'm. I got into cherry blues, and that means that since my home office is right on the other side of the wall from the master bedroom, right over there,
Oh no.
at night when I'm coding, you know where I'm going. Mrs. C Sharp Fritz hears me typing. Shut up.
So I do a lot of gaming, so having like the softer keys is nice for that.
Oh yeah. So I should be able to start this with the debugger and see exactly what the configuration looks like, so we can inspect it and figure out how to grab the things out of it and put it into something down here. And in your experience, let me ask you, when you have a tuple that looks like this and it sticks around for more than a couple of compiles or a couple of builds, is it time to turn that into a class?
I I tend to use tuples a lot and keep them as tuples. It kind of, for me, the thing that kind of makes a difference is whether I expect them to be passed around a lot. Like if I expect it just to be returned from a method to the caller, and then even if that caller use it a bunch, if they're not then storing it on something, then something else reads it. Like, yeah,
Then it's
I
okay
know.
to keep it here
Yeah.
because it's kind of encapsulated in just this class.
Yeah, as soon as you start like assigning them to fields and stuff like that, then you start having to manually copy around the names of everything in the definitions.
Yeah.
So you essentially like redefine the entire thing every time you have to explicitly type the full type of the tuple.
Sure.
So basically I'd say if you're using var, if you're able to use var to refer to it, mostly I would use a tuple. If you start
Okay.
having to explicitly type the type name because you're putting in a field or a property or something, then I'd
Move it out and make
consider,
it.
yeah, I'd
Okay.
consider using a class or a struct.
Cool. All right. So I'll leave this here, and hopefully we'll be able to load it up properly. Now, this configuration that I have here, and I showed you how I've got the fake configuration. It should still load up, even though I don't have Twitch here and I don't have Mixer enabled. But because I have my fake service enabled, it should still run. Let's find out.
Okay.
Go, please. And it's building with Docker Compose. I think that should be okay.
Oh, what's the error?
Uh,
Saw some. Oh,
I have the wrong SDK. Are you kidding? I was using the right SDK, I tell you. Let me see what it's saying about it.
what's the? Yeah.
Because I've been building locally here.
What's
Warnings.
Yeah. What's the .NET Core version if you open a term? Oh, actually, if you open preferences, it'll tell you yeah.
Over
in
here,
yeah.
preferences.
So somewhere down in the so about yeah, right there.
.NET runtimes. Ah,
Wait, no, that's not the one. SDK locations, maybe. If you expand out the SDK locations, there we go. Yeah, so here are the
SDKs found
SDKs
21700.
Okay.
Do I not
I
have?
think it wanted 2.2. I saw some warnings in the log earlier. Something about 2.2.
I thought I had a global JSON hanging in here. I don't. What's in the project file? Show me the project file.
It's in the tools menu. Yeah. No, in the tools context menu.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. There we go.
Edit file. Here
Edit
we
file.
go. 2.1. No, we're good.
Oh, also, you want to see something really cool?
Oh, please.
So open the main menu and do extensions.
Is that under tools? No.
So Visual Studio menu, the app menu, then extensions.
Yeah.
then go to the gallery and install the MS Build editor. It's under IDE extensions.
Oh, there's packets.
There you go. You can search in the field at the top right. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so if you install that, yep.
Does it give you the type ahead in the project file?
Yep, and
Good.
and quick info and all sorts of cool stuff.
Oh, why don't we have that in full Visual Studio?
Well, I've been porting it.
Nice.
It is a side project of mine, but
Oh yeah, look at that.
you'll need to reopen the file to get it to
To get it to
turn
go?
on. I think, yeah, if you close the CS project and reopen it.
Don't say. So I'll go back to this.
Yep. So now if you try hovering over some of these.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
there we go.
Oh, and it's got all the great summary information.
Mhm.
Oh, that's very cool. Now, will it give you the type ahead on the package names?
It should.
So if I choose like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is really cool. Right. It's not gonna do that one. Do I need to? There we go. All right. So if I wanted, right, I'm just tinkering here. Oh, that is so cool. ASP.NET Core. Oh, I've angered it.
Yeah, it's got a few rough edges. It is
But-
a side project.
And
Like I
just being able to search for, right, the names here, that's really cool. Those are some. I mean, I've always heard, people complaining, oh, IntelliSense rots your brain. Are you kidding? I can actually search NuGet here just by scrolling in my text editor. That's phenomenal. That's what I want. I'm on a show here right now. I'll take care of that in a little bit. The teenage daughter, you need to take care of the dog. Oh, okay. Thanks. And it's even doing the fuzzy searching in the middle.
Yep.
Very cool.
Try in that compile include above in the delete the task extensions.cs. In the include, I think, not the link. I don't think it'll work in the link. But yeah, and then do yeah.
Oh, it's showing me the files the files in that folder. Very cool to be able to get the includes like that. So I've already got some of these that I am including here, right? I've got a hey listen sound effect.
I think that that quote was unterminated now, but so that's why the highlighting's unhappy.
There we go, that one.
There you go. Yeah.
So this, and oh yeah, it's showing me all the files on disk. Oh, that is very cool.
Or you can do expressions as well.
Item list reference, nice. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great stuff. All right, I'm curious why why it's telling me it can't compile. Because I've clearly got terminal.
Well, so there's a difference between the .NET Core framework version and the .NET Core SDK version.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it wants the 2.2 SDK specifically.
Oh, I don't have. Well, okay, yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
Right there. Son of a gun. I thought I had that version installed. See, now I've got the pink highlight up here now. Thanks.
Oh yeah. You're welcome.
It's infecting my system. No, kidding. All right. These all download really quick. So we should be able to get that. And yes, it downloads quicker here on the Mac than it does on Windows. I don't know why.
That is quick.
I know. Right?
Yep. Nice fast network.
I think I'm 80 MIPS each direction.
Nice.
So, go do the thing. And I know a lot of folks would prefer to do that with brew install. This works just fine. So, same speeds there actually. Oh, okay. Well then. Less than a minute doing the final configuration stuff, and then we can go back and actually build and deploy. I knew I had a global JSON in there. So we're waiting. Right? It's like come on.
Houston, we have a problem.
It's not finishing.
I wonder why. I guess it's.
You have
I
to
guess.
ask me nicely.
No, just finish. Right?
Yeah, I guess it's the MacBook Air.
Yeah. Blame my little runt notebook. Right? It's funny. I show up with that at events and as my third machine, and people are like, "Oh, that's nice. You brought the small machine." No, it's the only machine I got. So if this doesn't run, I'm going to. No, I'm not going to freak out. I'll be fine. You know what it might be? It might be that I have a bunch of .NET runtimes and SDKs installed. Have you run into this with .NET Core? You end up with like SDK creep, and you end up with
yeah.
Okay, I'm not the only one.
Yep.
Where it just kind of creeps, and you end up with dozens of them.
Yep. Also the .NUGET folder.
Yes, I need a way to clean that.
I mean, it's fundamentally the same issue in both cases, that there's no way to really know when you don't want a version anymore, because you might have some project that uses it.
Yes, right. I've got, how many?
At least it looks like it's installed at least.
And it's running
SDK 22300 is there.
Go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, go ahead. Get rid of the installer. Thank you. So now let's try this again. And we can see what our configuration. Maybe inspect the above link for a while. What above link? Using multiple instances of strongly typed settings with named options in NetCore 2x. So I can't get that link over to my Mac because I've got chat and my Mac on. They're two different machines.
Let me open it. I'll take a look.
But that is something that our friend Glenn Condren was saying should be doable.
Okay, this is a fairly long article. Using multiple instances. Okay. Yeah, it looks like that's an example of doing something very similar to what we're doing right now.
Oh, good. But he's got. It looks like there's separate classes, and the class names are named after each one of the objects. Like you need to know the objects.
Yeah. Okay, I'm kind of skimming here. I've never actually worked with these configuration objects before, so I'm kind of skimming stuff. I tend to just read the JSON files with Newtonsoft JSON directly. It looks like if you basically do a request with your class as the generic argument, then it's going to convert those objects for you to the class you request. So if you just define a class that looks like those, whatever that would deserialize into, and then you just do a get of that class.
Okay.
That might work.
Unable to load the service index for API NuGet.org.
Oh, that's weird.
Like NuGet's not there.
Huh.
No.
That's concerning.
That can't be a thing. That's not a thing. 1 error, 3 warnings.
I had that happen the other day, and I wasn't sure why.
Visual Studio Web Code Generation utils.
Oh, you had a hint path for that. I saw in your project value.
Did I just lose the network? Chad, are you still there? Did I lose Michaela? Did I lose me? I'm still on. Okay.
Oh my.
I know. Oh my, indeed. You can hear me. Oh,
Well,
hey, there you're back. All right.
Skype just hard crashed.
All right.
It literally just beach balled and disappeared.
I think we should blame.
Yeah, I saw in your CS prod you had a hint path for loading that code generation utils directly from program files, which isn't going to work on the Mac. But I don't see why that would affect loading a target file. Yeah, that looks suspicious.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my, indeed, Janescu. I think. You know what? I think we did this at one point to do scaffolding in the other Visual Studio. I think we can remove it.
But that task was being invoked by something as well, right? Like you had the error when you like double clicked on that error.
No, I don't think it is. Let's just yank it. Remove it.
Yeah.
But unable to load the service index for API NuGet.org v3 index.json.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Janescu, you don't need the 2. You can just put it without it, and it'll. Okay, weird.
Okay. It might be worth restarting VS for Mac. I don't like.
No.
It shouldn't be necessary, but sometimes I do when things like this happen.
I wonder if by patching the SDK, we somehow threw it into a bad state.
Yeah, changing stuff like underneath it is kind of, like replacing the foundations from a house or something. It's not a great idea.
But we did it anyway.
You can get away with it if you like move it really quickly.
Oh yeah,
It's
like pulling the.
It's like pulling a tablecloth. Yeah.
It'll stand. It'll go. All right, so we remove that code generation stuff. Do the thing, says M. Holloway. No, we're not going to do the thing. We're going to do
restoring. Is it restore? Is it going to finish restoring?
Come on. Okay, that looks better.
Oh, that's progress. Yep, there we go.
All right.
So at least the restore finished now.
Yeah. So now we should probably be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
There is no do the thing command. I don't.
We need do the thing.
So Brave Cobra put out there, right? I have a do the thing emote, and I should turn that into a sticker also.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Ignite, Michaela, I think I need I have a do the thing emote. I need to bring a lot more of the. I've got the Octocat with the rainbow beard. I've also got Clippy with the rainbow beard emotes. My own little robot.
Nice.
So, and all right, let me ask you. I've been talking about this with some of the. It's still building.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Thank you, Brave Cobra. I've been talking to some of the folks about Ignite and about doing a really long stream at Ignite. Like, let's have folks on that are making announcements at Ignite, and we'll have all kinds of we'll invite a bunch of different developer streamers, and we'll take turns on the Visual Studio channel and some other channels, building things throughout the event using some of the cool new features that we're announcing. So if we build something maybe for a nonprofit throughout the course of the event with a bunch of folks helping over a live stream, it might be a lot of fun. I don't know about a 24-hour marathon, Brave Cobra, but definitely over the duration of the event, and show off, oh, here, we're going to have this group, for the afternoon, they're going to be working on the Mac. And these folks will be in Visual Studio for Mac, and they'll be building this piece of the application. And tomorrow you can join in, and we'll have these folks on Linux building this service, blah, blah, blah. and back and forth as we build whatever project it is. So we have, instead of the typical, like you see at Build and some of the other events we do, hey, let's talk about this, and why is that a great feature? No, let's actually use it and show, hey, this is why it's so great, and talk about it as we're building stuff.
Yep, that makes sense to me.
Cool.
Okay, what's the error? Oh,
That's a...
This is coming from the Docker targets.
So what do you say we don't have it build Docker?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And we have it... Can I set this as the startup project instead? So that we just go right into ASP.NET. Is not trusted. Do I trust it? Yes, please.
Yes.
I trust everything that Microsoft gives me. That's what David Fowler told me to do, so I do it. I trust Fowler. So, yeah, M. Holloway with the cool bot. So I've also got... I took the .NET bot. We made him a little bit cooler. There we go. That didn't work either.
Yep.
Oh, it hit the breakpoint. Okay.
We're at the breakpoint, yeah.
All right, so now, I can pin this, and we can... where'd the pin go?
Pinning doesn't actually work in the new editor. I filed that bug last week.
Preview versions. Okay, so my 6 providers, so I could go through that. Right, because it chains... ASP.NET chains all those providers together. All right, I get that. Right, I don't want to...
Okay, this seems somewhat complicated.
So let's use the immediate window. So if I look for configuration...
It's a...
Oh, I didn't spell it right. All right. And we put the settings under... I think it's Fritzbot is the top level. So if it's Fritzbot, then sound effects commands? I think it's like that. Sound effects. Oh man, that is really small too. Null.
Guessing
is it
syntax?
colon or is it? It's not vertical pipe. It used to be vertical pipe.
No.
And it's not dot. Is it? It's not exclamation point.
Looks like it's meant. I just looked it up. It looks like it's meant to be a colon. Configuration.get section. Okay, yeah, try configuration.get section, then the colon.
Section. Fritzbot. Right? Do we get that and get
Fritz, yeah. Yep.
Value null.
No. Huh. Is that under something else?
I didn't think it was. So there's logging. Stream services ends there. And then Fritzbot. You'll need get subkeys. That's what I thought. Unsavable. Yes, we're using Visual Studio for Mac. And this is Michaela Hutchinson, one of the lead program managers for Visual Studio for Mac. That's weird that it's not even finding that. If I just say configuration, oh boy, like that, I should get something, but I get nothing. What happened? Okay, the first one is logging. I should get logging. No, I don't get that either. I've broken it.
Maybe it didn't like the file and just refused to read any of it?
I don't know. There is a unsavable. There is a comment about that is available in the Visual Studio community. You're welcome to vote up, but right now Visual Studio for Linux is not on the agenda until we get a little bit more demand for it. So that's configuration get section. I think you were right.
Yeah.
So Fritzbot sound effects command. Does that return something?
Was it? Yeah.
That looks...
Can you read Fritzbot?
Oh, it's commands.
But you were doing that earlier, right?
No, I don't think I put the S on the end. Key sound commands, sound effects commands, path, value, evaluation failed.
What's the evaluation? Okay.
Yeah, it's like it really doesn't like. We can't see. Oh, because I'm typing. No, I'm not typing. Oh, in the immediate window, it's behind Michaela. My bad. I can move that over, can't I?
Yep.
Just move it here. There, now you can see it. And it's really small. What's the commands to increase the font size in this?
In that, there isn't a command, but you can do it in preferences. If you go into preferences and go into fonts, fourth from the top,
Oh, there it is.
and then change output pad. I think that's an output pad, but you have to change that to like 14 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I like to bump these things up nice and big so that
Yeah, there we go.
our viewers who are watching on a phone can see.
You could also just drag that into the like main area.
And just really mess with people.
Yeah.
So why isn't it finding it?
Is there anything in the application output window, like any error about like failing to pass the app settings or something?
No, it's clearly got configuration because it saw 6 providers.
Yeah, the providers. What are the providers? So there's JSON. So there's a bunch of JSON. So this must be one of the JSON configuration
Ooh, look at that.
providers, right?
87 data points.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Take a little while to load.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so then we have Fritzbot sound effects commands, and okay, so it's read.
It's seeing them.
Yeah,
It's
so these are all the data.
definitely Fritzbot sound effects commands. But yeah. So, all right, so if I go Fritzbot sound effects commands, there's
Maybe you have to get this. Oh no, could you like just get the section Fritzbot and then get like the sound effects commands key from that?
Let's try it. Configuration get section Fritzbot and
okay.
I'm not getting an autocomplete.
Well, what happens if you just evaluate that? That's still okay, I guess.
So,
Yeah.
all right, what if we did, let's write sound effects. Oh, it's a lower X. Commands. And it was and then. Does that return something? Because that's a completed object. No. What configuration am I injecting? This is, it's I configuration that we're injecting. Right, let's drag that back down. It's right here. I'm receiving the top level. I guess I could. No.
Does it need that that code generation step to generate the objects?
No. That generation thing was being used for the scaffolding in Visual Studio when you right click on a controllers folder and say generate a MVC controller.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yuko is saying that's why you need a schema sometimes. No, the schemas. That's why we're using JSON.
Are any of the other things that read the configuration able to read their values from it? Like, is there just something weird going on with the immediate window?
Let's check over here on. Well, okay, so this one says configuration get section get children to array and does a 4 across it.
But it's doing configuration get section Fritzbot text command, which is exactly what we're
emulating.
Yeah.
So what happens if I grab just that? Does that work inside of the immediate window? No. That's not what I copied at all.
Where's that evaluation failed coming from?
That's a good question.
Like, is it something in the expression evaluator, or is it something in the object that's being returned?
Ooh. Okay. Did I break the format of the JSON? Like, okay, each one of these is an object.
You would have like an error, an error squiggle somewhere though, I think, wouldn't you?
There it is, right? No, that's fine.
There's some kind
hang
of error
on.
squiggle.
Yeah. Look, are we getting a little bit of help here from Visual Studio? Look, I've got a collapse here on 68, but I've also got one on 72.
Okay, that's...
Do I accidentally have like an extra character in here?
I don't know. It may be that it didn't. Yeah. We could try opening it up in VS Code because I think its JSON editor is a bit better than ours is in VS Mac right now.
Like if I delete that. Yeah, I wonder if there was a
Yeah, I think
space there
yeah.
that it didn't like.
Space should be okay. I think that's yeah. Let's kind of walk our way down from sound effects commands. Okay, so the oh my is yep, that's fine.
That looks all right.
That's fine. The and then yeah.
Okay.
What's in file?
That's the array that we put in there.
That's an array. That looks fine. Yeah. JavaScript looks fine.
Just for giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Let's turn this into just like that.
So it might, yeah. So it might
just
not,
in case
like,
it can't handle it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it might not like things that have multiple types in their values.
Big C versus little c in configuration. That's okay, M. Holloway. There were two different objects, and I was copying from the injected one into the property. So I think we're okay. Oh, this configuration. You're right. That one wasn't initialized.
Yeah.
So that should... Okay, that returns... That's for text command. So let's try sound effects commands. Because somebody decided to make that plural. Jeff. Does that one return?
It does. We've got all
it
four
worked.
of them there.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
So...
Yeah. So now we just need to pass them.
If I go look at the 0th item...
I guess it was that.
Okay, so...
No.
It doesn't know what that is. No comments. Actually, the Microsoft Parser is a little bit more forgiving with comments in JSON. That's definitely something that we've heard people say, and it's a known discussion, right?
Yeah, JSON comments are not a thing in standard JSON.
Yeah.
There's a JSON 5 proposal or JSON 6 proposal or something out there that adds a bunch of nice improvements, but none of the major vendors have implemented it.
So let me remove this and see if it works now with the file array. And we should be able to detect it from that point and fix this going forward. Come on! All right, so I'm there. Back over to the immediate window.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. So, all right, so I do have the collection of objects. It is returning it. We need more sounds. No more sounds for you, Janescu. Not allowed. The text command syntax version is your preference, says Brave Cobra. You can inject an I options of T. I could. You're right.
Yeah. So I think that's the way to, from this article that was posted, I think that's probably the way to go, which would be to get that section and then pass it to something that accepts an I options of some object. And if that object has the fields you wanted to deserialize into.
Okay. Okay.
And we could actually work around the, if we change the and then to be files rather than file,
Then we'd be able to parse it.
then we'd be able to consistently pass file into a string and files into an array of strings.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the last pieces that we have here, right? And we are still in debug, and I'm not too concerned. The way that we did it over here was we did a for each object that was inside of here.
So let's try what this article suggested and see if it works.
Okay.
Okay, so if we go into the sound effects command and we create a method after this, which is like load configuration. So if we create and pass configuration to it, and then in that, when we generate that method, we change that argument. So we change that argument payload to I options of command definition or something.
Sound effects definition.
Yeah. And then we define that to be a class that has the properties that we wanted to deserialize into, I think.
So, yep, I need using options and generate that type. Let's just put it in this file.
Yeah.
And I can F12 to it. I love that.
And then we'll just put the fields matching. So we'll need
response files and cooldown.
Yeah, response file. Yep.
All right. So let's do this as a property string response. String for a file.
File. Yep. String array for files.
Yeah. Files. Okay. And the last one was the cooldown.
Cooldown. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So then, if we place our breakpoint in that not implemented exception, then look at our configuration.
Well, it doesn't know which section.
Wait, yeah. So your load configuration is going to be, you'll have to pass configuration.get section because you need to pass a section.
And that was be Fritzbot
colon
sound effects commands, right?
Sound effects commands. Yep. Is that gonna? Oh,
I'm missing
needs another param.
We got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I convert from configuration section to I options?
I don't know. I did kind of skim the article, so there might be some additional.
I think we need to. Going back into the configuration. I have a couple places here where I do things like this. Services configure.
Oh, yeah. So you are doing.
To do that. So sound effects definition over here needs to become public. And if I want that same thing, I need services configure.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Sound effects.
It was a nested class, right? Yeah. Sound effects command dot. Yeah.
Oh no! I put it next to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I control dot, get my using statement, and now I can do configuration gets. See, I'm trying to be lazy and not write these sections, and it just bit me in the keister. Sound effects commands.
And you can use the quick fix on configuration. See if the spell check will find what you actually wanted. Fix typo. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Please do.
I love that one.
Oh my gosh. I would have, right, I'd be fighting with that. Why didn't I type that right? Okay, so that now, if I go back over here, when I'm receiving it, I should be able, instead of receiving this, I should be able to say that and get the appropriate object.
Okay.
Because it's saving that.
Yep.
Rats, wrong one. So yep, I've transposed keystroke. There we go. Okay. So now I should be able to just load configuration and get the appropriate thing here. Let's give it a shot. Use iOption snapshot instead. I understand why you're giving me the iOption snapshot. iOption snapshot means I can change the file on the fly and it'll automatically reload it. I'm not gonna get wrapped up in that right. It's easy to change right now, but yep, building, running, come on. So now my configuration here
Yes.
value.
Wait, he's trying to deserialize it to one, not like a list of them.
Oh. So that should probably be iOptions sound effects definition like an array, like that.
No, we need a dictionary because we need their keys as well.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Make that iOptions snapshot on both of those while I'm here. So, how did they do that with the keys in the in that blog post that we were looking at?
Yeah, I need to check that. Yeah, because they are definitely doing that. Oh no, they're not. They have, yeah. Maybe it's not possible to do this. Or I mean, we could just get the section and like iterate through it, right? I assume it exposes the raw data.
I don't think it does expose
the
raw data.
Really?
No. Yeah.
That's frustrating.
I know, because so it's trying to give you a configuration object that you can work with that isn't just JSON, but could also be coming in from environment variables or from some other configuration source.
Okay. I guess we need our command. Yep, I guess
Do it as an array like
we
this?
probably need the array, yeah. Yep.
But it was going to be so much fun the other way.
I know. Ultimately, we could still collapse sound effects commands and text command into one giant array, though.
Yeah.
Which always has a response and might or might not have a file.
But it has that universal object type.
Yeah. So it would always have an ID, a command and a response and possibly a file and possibly a cooldown. And possibly files.
So then take this, move it inside here. Yeah. Get rid of that one. Comma there. Same type thing. Command. Grab that. Come on now.
It's weird because what we were doing is fairly conventional JSON, because you can even write JSON schemas to define that kind of structure.
Yeah. Can still read your actual message. So that missing a comma after an array element.
So that's still not an array, right? That one, the and then one. Still needs the command colon.
You're right.
Yeah.
And command. Go to the end. Change that to a comma. There, that works. Okay.
Yep.
So now we have a...
So now we're going to get like an array of sound definitions, I guess. Can we configure it to do that?
Yeah. Can we get that?
Worth a try.
DOMFX says config.getSection.getChildren to dictionary. Wow, that's a really neat... That would work, Dom.
Can we get the children? What would the children be in that case?
The children would be... Right, so if we got the sound effects commands section, the children would be each one of these objects.
Yeah, so we can project a dictionary out of this that has the
that has the objects we need.
And just be. I know.
Cool.
I kind of liked having the editor checking that we weren't duplicating things. But
I did too. Right, we're getting the whole feature there, and I think we don't want sound definition as an object here. Let's just receive the I configuration so that we can do that projection nicely. If we follow what Dom is suggesting here for us. No, it's not poorly typed out. Don't worry about it, Dom. You're putting us on the right path. Right, so if I add, let's just put a var here and say var the thing equals configuration, right, get section fritzbot sound effects commands, right, get children to dictionary, and then we're going to select out.
Oh, where's the type information? Like, can we do get children of T? Because we need to type the variable. We need, right?
Can we type the variable?
We need to use the to dictionary, right?
Yeah. Well, what does get children is returning an I configuration section.
I mean, but can't we just do the thing where we were doing the passing in and I options of that's an array, and then just do .to dictionary on that array?
That would be all right. So let me go back to.
Because somewhere we have to tell the object mapper to convert these into sound into sound definition objects.
So if I go back to that, let's see what it gives us.
There was also the object mapper definition, right?
Yeah.
In your configure services.
That's still over there.
Would that have to be an array as well?
I don't think so, because what it's doing is it's just saying configure. Oh, yeah, that's going to need to be like that.
So now we find out whether it supports array types.
Yeah, right. Must be a non-abstract type with a public parameter as constructor.
Looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, it doesn't like it. What if... Alright, I'm going to cheat. What if we had this? Public class, sound effects config, public array.
How are you loading the text commands? Because now we're doing it the same way you're doing text commands. We can just copy what you were doing for text commands.
Well, I just did a commands add and did a for each on that. So we can just do that.
So commands.get value.
We could just do
so
that.
If we did, yeah, but we could probably do the key mapping thing that way as well if we're just doing like get value, right? If it gives us get value.
Right, that's assuming that the object that it gives us is a... Well, it's an eye configuration
But
section. That's
you're
what
not
it's-
you're not using the object mapper here at all.
No.
You're just reading the raw data out of it.
I'm using the object mapper. Yeah, you're right. I'm using the raw data to get down to a collection of keys inside of this object.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, DOM's pretty close there. Select on the new key value pair. And we can load it up that way. That's not bad. So if I just received eye configuration, I get the collection this way and select it out to create that same dictionary using DOM syntax. I think that works nicely.
What if, huh?
Right.
Okay.
I was going to say I could kind of cheat and say, right. Well, this doesn't have a name because this is right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Then I'm using the object mapper, but I don't think that's going to work either.
Mhm.
If I turn this back into eye configuration and this into eye configuration, no, it's
Let's see. So configuration get section returns a configuration section. Configuration section has.
oh, Brave Cobra found an article. It looks like from our friend Scott Allen about recognizing arrays. Yes, that's exactly what we've got here. All we need is some plain classes that follow the structure.
Ooh.
That'll do it.
System configuration dictionary section handler. Wait, no, that's not what I'm thinking. That's the wrong system configuration. That's the old one.
So, actually, all right, if I go back. Right, so we have sound effects config has a collection of sound effects commands. So if app settings, yeah. And have that contain an array which will map automatically. So if we do it like this, we have one object in here, and it's that array. And if we give it a key of, let's just say sound effects, it should map that automatically. So sound effects definition, call this sound effects. Then I can receive. Oh no. An eye options of sound effects config. And at configure services, instead of sound effects definition, I receive like that. Now it should work. Do I still have? I think I caught it in time. And then I can do the work planning it out. My gosh, we're so far over. Just keep right on going.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Ooh.
You know what?
I just discovered something.
Uh-oh.
So configuration section has a key property.
Yeah.
So if we were to do like if we were to treat these so if we were to have gone back to the original like dictionary syntax, if we were to do like get configuration section of fritzbot colon sound commands, right? Then do get children. Each of those children is going to have a key property, which will be the key in its parent.
Oh, okay.
And then we just do get value to read all of the individual fields out of each one.
Right.
So we can just iterate over them with get children on the parent configuration section.
But it's not picking that up. It errored out on me. How do I get the output window?
Is
it under here? Pads?
It's application output at the bottom. Bottom
hiding there.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, love the stack trace. Cannot consume scope service, iOptions snapshot, sound effects config.
Ooh, this is quite the stack trace.
From singleton iExtended command. All right, so it couldn't find it. I thought I loaded that. Sound effects config, it's right there. All right. So you found going off the configuration section and going through the object hierarchy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it would preclude doing things like iOptions snapshot, I think, but
it would work.
Yeah, so we would just get an iConfiguration. Just get the whole thing and then just do iConfiguration.get section. And then, yeah.
Keys, sounds equals configuration, get section, fritzbot, sound effects commands.
Yep.
Get children. So now I've got
and then we just do,
well,
and then we can just for each over those.
Actually, so I've got this object now.
Can we just like undo this, fetch the keys and see if that works?
Oh, I wish. I didn't save. I didn't save what those changes.
But did you close and reopen it? Like, do we still have an undo stack?
No. Oh, do I still have an undo stack? Oh my gosh. Yes. If there's somebody who knows how deep the undo stack is, I'm talking to them. It's Michaela. Okay. So there, now I'm at the keys are there.
And let's not touch anything because we need to keep the redo stack in case we decide to switch back.
Okay. So now if I go back over here, so I've done get children, so I should have in the sounds object here.
You should have an array of configuration sections, each of which
it's not an array,
key,
right? This is an object.
Sorry, yeah. So the sounds will be a collection of configuration sections where each one the key will be like oh my or and then or JavaScript, and then the values. Then you can do like get value to read the individual. That file is not going to work though.
Because they're different objects. Yeah,
and also because configuration section 10, I think it just lets you use string values. So I don't know if you can even use like the int values. Looking at the API, it actually just had like get.
All right, I'm trying to write F11. I want to step in. Yeah, step into F11. Okay. What sounds got in it? Look, system link in.
The sounds is a collection. Okay, results view.
Hey.
Okay, and their keys.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. All right.
And the value, so we'll then have to use get children to read on each of those to read the individual.
All right. All right. We can do that.
Oh,
So,
actually, we can still do the files thing, because if the value is a string, we take the string. If the value's null, we do a get
get children
children.
again. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Who wrote this thing? Oh, yeah.
It's a thing of beauty.
You're flattering me here. So I should be able to say effects add sounds dot select. Okay, so we're gonna have some sort of a child object, and we'll be able to say s dot
Key.
is the
Hopefully-
key. I need to do a new key value pair.
We want to do a dictionary, like we want to do a sounds.to dictionary here, really, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Can you do a PR to this? Yes, you can, Brave Cobra. TZWER, hello. Welcome. So to dictionary.
We have, yeah, and
So
then
it's the key selector, and then there's
yeah.
right, isn't all right, so
So we'll take a section and project it to
not get children. The key is going to be
key.
yeah.
Yep, the key.
Okay.
And then
Not the compare. I want the element. There it is.
Yeah.
So this time it's going to be
going to go to a new sound effects definition. Right? You can just do like a new sound effects definition.
Yep, because we created that type.
And then assign the fields based on get values on s.getValue. Yep. Dot cooldown equals s.getValue.
And then?
Yes, and then get children.
Oh wait, there was
it's get children.
That one can just be a get value event, right? It looks like it's.
And it's going to be then response. No, cooldown.
Yep. And then
get value of string. S get value. I should be able to do both of these, right? Just get value string of file. Files equals get children. No.
Yeah. S. No. Yeah.
And then
dot first or default, where the key is files. And then
get value. Oh, that's not at all ugly.
Does it support array? It does, but it does support arrays though. Can we just do like get value of string array? Will get value accept? What does get value?
Well, this is
okay. Here we go. Get value of t
k dot
extracts the value of the specified key and converts it. Okay, so that's an extension method, and so it's converting from a string. So I don't see any way it could convert into an array.
Yeah, it doesn't like that.
Okay. How about we skip files for now and just check whether the rest works?
Sure.
And you can probably just assign the dictionary directly to effects, I think. Right?
I need one more there. Sure. That's not bad.
Yeah. This is our effects. Yeah.
And it doesn't like that because it's read-only. That's fine. Goodbye.
And down here. So yeah. So now we're effectively converting a tuple to an
Yeah.
explicit type.
And I've got an extra one of those. This needs to change to sound
effects.
definition. And I can comment these out.
Because we're reading them all. Yep.
It's not commenting.
Mm,
Well, that's one way to do it.
that might just be the new editor, I think. I don't know if that command was ported yet.
There we go. And need to change this type.
Yep. You can also use Alt-Shift-Up to select a scope, which is kind of neat. Right, just like expand selection.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've got a couple other errors here now where it needs to find that.
Oh yeah, so these just need to be uppercase now. Yep.
Well, I didn't have them named well before.
Yeah.
Looks like there's one more place.
There's another cooldown. There's several more cooldowns.
Yeah, but that's this. That's okay. From int to time span. Oh. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Time span from seconds. And time span from seconds. And I need to... No! Okay. All right, that looks like it. Let's go back up here to our select. So I have it pausing down here. Let's see if it goes. You're sure you can do something like services configure dictionary string sound effects? I would hope that you could do something like that, but this feels really messy. And we were close previously. I think you're right, Brave Cobra. But
the eye configuration API looks like it's very much just concerned with like nested collections of strings.
yeah. All right, so effects has four items. Come on. There we go. And then JavaScript, oh my, and the rim shot. So we got the four.
You got it.
Yeah. The and then is the only one that's kind of wacky, isn't it? Because it doesn't have a file. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So the only I just need to go back and figure out files. That's not too hard to do. But I think we're at a good place to stop.
We could also have the cooldown read like a nullable event rather than an int, and then if it's null, like assign the default cooldown. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So in stumbling around the configuration API, we learned a lot about some of the other features of the editor going through Visual Studio here. And that was really cool. Thank you so much for your help tonight. I'm going to go back over to the terminal. Where'd my terminal go? I just had it. There it is. Let me do a quick git commit. Yep, git commit. That's really hard to read, and I'm going to apologize. Making the sound effects a configuration option. And I'll push that so it's now available. Fantastic. So we learned a lot about Visual Studio for Mac. We saw a little bit of the new Xamarin editor. We saw a lot about the new C# editor. We saw how easy it is to get it and install. And we worked with ASP.NET Core with it. I think that's a pretty good set of features and functionality there that we went through. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I think we did great.
Yeah, and absolutely, chat room. If you think it can be done with iOptions, let me know. The code's out there. It's in my GitHub repository, github.com/C#Fritz, and you can find it out there. And if take a shot. If you find something that works better, great, and we'll consider taking your pull request and applying it to the code that we wrote here tonight. I'm going to take a quick peek and see who else is streaming out there. Maybe there's someone we want to raid. You know what? I want to raid somebody that we haven't raided before. Can we raid somebody new? I want to raid somebody who's in the creative space, because I like to raid some of the creative folks that are doing something neat. And tonight I think I want to raid Dryad T. So I like to raid the creative folks that are here on Twitch that are building other neat things more than just code. Dryad T is a friend. She's in the Colorado area, and she has her own tea company where she's formulating different mixtures of tea leaves and things. Really neat stuff, and she makes her own ceramics. And tonight she's throwing clay and making mugs on her channel. So I'm going to set up so that we raid our friend Dryad T tonight. So I'm going to put the raid call out in the chat room there. There it is. If you're a subscriber, go ahead, copy the top line of text there with starting with the bot there. It says C# Fritz's Coding Squad. All your base are belong to us. Copy that out. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line of text with the missiles, because we're going to go in and we're going to announce our presence in Dryad T's channel and let her know that we're happy to see her. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. Thank you, Michaela. This was cool. I've learned a lot tonight, and we'll get ready to check out Dryad T. This is great. I'm going to make sure I keep Visual Studio for Mac loaded and running here on my Mac so I can continue using this going forward. Next time, I'll be back on Thursday. I'll wrap up this little bit of code here, show everybody how we have this running, and I'll have it deployed and running in the bot. And we'll be taking a look at I forget what other project I'm working on Thursday. Tune in. I'll let you know before we get there. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Get the music playing in the background. And we'll see you next time. Alrighty, say hi to Dryad T for us. And we'll see everybody on Thursday. Take care.